Part 39. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 382. Oh. What are you doing? The moment Sister Wang shouted, Lin Feng's tongue slipped in. Sister Wang's tongue evaded and entangled with Lin Feng's tongue for a moment. Sister Wang's tongue was like a slippery snake, which brought a lot to Lin Feng. Extraordinary enjoyment. Sister Wang is a mature peach. Sister Wang's kissing skills are very skilled. If two people who are very skilled in kissing kiss together, they can play tricks. At this moment, Lin Feng and Sister Wang's tongues play tricks. While sucking to the fullest, Sister Wang's breathing was very rapid, and her towering chest was rubbing against Lin Feng's body. This was a deliberate friction, just as Sister Wang was looking for pleasure in this way. But Lin Feng didn't touch Sister Wang's chest. He felt that a hot kiss was too much. God knows if this charming woman will become more hysterical after a hot kiss. There is nothing wrong with Sister Wang's chest rubbing against his body. But if he touches Sister Wang's chest, there may be a problem. When facing Sister Wang, a charming and special woman, Lin Feng must be very cautious even when he eats tofu. Almost 10 minutes later, Sister Wang's hand pinched against Lin Feng's waist, which was a very gentle hint. He asked him to stop. Lin Feng's tongue finally slipped out from between Sister Wang's red lips and smiled at her. He smiled and sat on the sofa. Lin Feng believed that Sister Wang's body was already very wet, but he did not see the wetness of Sister Wang. In the awkward atmosphere, after a moment of silence, Sister Wang said, "Want to hear my evaluation of you? I guess you will use the most ugly words in the world on me. I kissed you just now, is it a heinous thing? But I still hope that your evaluation of me can be higher, even if you say that I am on the road. Aspiring young people running, I will also be very happy. You are very cute. This is your evaluation of me," Lin Feng said. "Correct. Then can I be more cute?" Lin Feng said. "No, oh, let's play chess, if you don't want to play with me. You can go now." When Sister Wang said this, she also felt her body wet, but she knew that the would not be washed away easily, and she would not drift in the big river formed by the special liquid. This time, it seemed that she was with Lin Feng. So ambiguous. "Then continue to play. If you are in the mood to cook for me, then I will wait for lunch before leaving," Lin Feng said. Sister Wang smiled slightly. Continue to play chess with Lin Feng. At this time, Lin Feng is less engaged than before. There is a problem that he can't understand. According to the analysis of the kiss just now, Sister Wang does not seem to object to playing a little ambiguity with him, but he said at the beginning, "I want to give Miss Wang pants." Why did you suddenly anger this woman? Is it because the woman's close-fitting objects such as once made Sister Wang strongly stimulated? How could the trousers irritate Sister Wang? This question is indeed very confusing. Even if Lin Feng's imagination is very rich, it is difficult to think clearly about this question. What are you thinking? I'm wondering if I can stay for lunch at noon. If I can taste Sister Wang's craftsmanship again, I'll be very happy, Lin Feng said. I'm going to cook some dishes for you. That feeling is good, Lin Feng said. It's almost time for lunch. Lin Feng and Sister Wang played more than 10 chess games, and he lost all of them, and was killed by Sister Wang in every game. Sister Wang has no intention of letting Lin Feng at all. Whenever she kills Lin Feng to the point of falling into the water, she will show a very satisfied smile. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and sighed softly. I used to play chess with my father, and I could win a few games occasionally, but I played with you, Sister Wang. I have no hope of winning. Actually, your chess moves are also very good. It's just that your chess skills are too high. Has anyone instructed you before? Lin Feng asked. No expert has taught me, but I have liked to play chess since I was a child. It's a hobby and talent. You lose to me, it's not ashamed. Sister Wang got up and walked towards the kitchen with graceful steps, her hips twisting slightly. But her hips are too big and round, and they look very energetic, which makes Lin Feng feel uneasy. Lin Feng even wanted to rush over and squeeze Wang's sister's ass. Then tell her that there was a mosquito on your just now, but I didn't hold the mosquito and it flew away. If he really did, Sister Wang had to find the mosquito that flew away. She would look for it in anger, and if she didn't find it, she would get angry. Smelling the smell of the vegetables, Lin Feng couldn't sit still. He went to the kitchen and smiled at Sister Wang. Do you need my help? It's enough if you don't help, you're doing me a favor by going out. You beautiful woman is very polite. Lin Feng twisted against Sister Wang's buttocks. Oh Sister Wang just made a cry, but she didn't jump up, so it could be seen that Lin Feng didn't hurt her just now. Lin Feng found that he was crazy. There were no mosquitoes on Sister Wang's buttocks, but he still pinched it. Very soft and elastic, the face and of this charming woman are so superb. Lin Feng felt that he shouldn't compare Sister Wang's face and together, because the face is the face and the is the butt, but he has already compared it just now. So what are the similarities and differences between Sister Wang's face and butt? Lin Feng quickly figured out this issue. What they have in common is that they are all soft, delicate, and elastic. The difference is that the face is charming, and can be seen by others, while the is round and hot, and it cannot be shown casually. Go out quickly, if you don't go out, I'll kick you. Sister Wang wiped her feet, but didn't really lift her slender legs, probably because she was worried that Lin Feng would hug her legs and eat her tofu. Then you kick, Lin Feng said. Sister Wang pondered for a while, then raised her leg and kicked Lin Feng. Lin Feng hugged Sister Wang's leg briskly, and Sister Wang was independent on one leg, holding the frying scoop in her hand. It is a unique scenery that a woman can be so hot when cooking. As expected, Lin Feng hugged his leg, and as expected, Lin Feng ate tofu. Don't be annoying, just let me go, otherwise the vegetables in the stir-fry pan will spill out. Do you still want to eat it? Sister Wang said nervously. Lin Feng stroked Sister Wang's thigh for a moment, then let go of her and said with a smile, I'll go out first, you continue to play, and wait to taste your craft. Looking at Lin Feng's back, Sister Wang was a little flustered and a little wet. Just now Lin Feng touched her thigh, which made her very comfortable. She even wanted Lin Feng to continue to touch her, so she didn't want to do any more dishes. She put on a pose and let Lin Feng touch, but how? This kid is just a child, and his heart can't always be wet because of him. At least not for many years without such comfort. At least not for many years without such waves. Sister Wang felt that she was a little abnormal, and she wanted to make herself extra normal. Sitting on the sofa, Lin Feng continued to think about the woman Wang Ji, but there were many problems that he couldn't figure out. If he learned about Wang Ji's past, these problems could be easily solved. But neither Ye nor Hongying wanted to tell him, and Sister Wang herself had no intention of saying it, so it was not easy to learn about the past of this charming woman. At present, he did not plan to find someone to investigate Sister Wang, because there was no need to mobilize people like this. Sister Wang cooked 5 dishes, brought a bottle of high-end red wine, ate with Lin Feng, clinked glasses and took a sip of red wine, and Sister Wang's lips became more moist. Lin Feng instantly wanted to kiss Sister Wang's red lips again. If Sister Wang could do something else for him with those rosy lips, he would be even happier. But he needs to eat, and Sister Wang also needs to eat. You are beautiful. Many people say that, but some people don't know. Sister Wang didn't continue, she smiled and started eating. Are you trying to say that some people don't know how to cherish? Let's eat, Sister Wang said. Oh. Lin Feng did not continue to ask questions. He knew very well that even if he continued to ask, Sister Wang would not reveal anything, and he was very likely to anger Sister Wang again. It was already 3 o'clock in the afternoon when Lin Feng arrived at the feminine fashion store. The moment he saw Lin Feng, Dinan showed a bright smile. I really didn't expect that today's business is okay, and now the turnover is more than 500, no knowing if it can break through 1,000 when it closes. This is still the most one day since the summer vacation. That's really good. Oh, by the way, did Kingzu call you? Lin Feng sat on the chair. You don't seem to be very concerned about the turnover of the store, but you are very concerned about Kingzu, but it doesn't matter, I have no opinion at all. The more you care about Kingzu, the happier I am. If you are thinking about that college girl, I'm about to lose my temper. Dinan had no problem with Wang Wei, but since Lin Feng and Tian Kingzu became hot, Dinan had a problem with Wang Wei. Let Dinan say this. Lin Feng thought of Wang Wei, and wanted to call Wang Wei to communicate. I don't know how she was feeling. I hope the scene in the mansion will not ruin his friendship with Wang Wei. In the past, he wanted Wang Wei to be his girlfriend, but Wang Wei disagreed in the mansion. Wang Wei wanted to be his girlfriend, but he did not agree, because Tian Qingzu was already in his life appeared. I hope Wang Wei, a girl who thinks her condition is very good but has ordinary luck, can withstand this kind of blow. It would be a pity if the friendship after so many years was ruined. Lin Feng said, you haven't told me yet, did Kingzu call you? Dinan said, since she didn't call you, she didn't call me. Lin Feng said, really? Dinan said, listen to your tone, it's like I lied to you. Give you my phone, look at the call log. Is there a call from Shu? If you are still worried, you can go to the mobile company to check. Lin Feng smiled and said, that's not necessary. But he always had a very strange feeling, as if Tian Qingzu had secretly contacted Dinan behind his back, and the two beauties talked about some topics that he didn't want him to know. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 383. Maybe Tian Qingzu told Dinan what she was doing in Qiushan Town, Shu Province. Maybe Tian Qingzu told Dinan what her mood was like at this time. Maybe Tian Qingzu didn't call Dinan and didn't tell her anything. Even if Lin Feng felt a little strange, he couldn't continue to doubt it for no reason. Lin Feng accompanied Dinan in the store for more than an hour before returning to the master bedroom, sitting on the sofa and lighting a cigarette. What he thought was that he was already a man with a mansion, and he could move from the master bedroom to the master bedroom at any time. Mansion to go. At the same time, he also thought about how he would feel if he were coding in the spacious room of the mansion. The green axis mechanical keyboard still makes a crisp sound, but the sound insulation effect of each room in the mansion is very good, and people outside will not hear it. If he moves there, he can stand in front of the large floor-to-ceiling glass window and smoke a cigarette and watch the scenery when he takes a break. He can also drink tea and watch the scenery. The scenery of the community is very beautiful, which can bring people a lofty feeling. He even wanted to experience it immediately. But he moved there. What about Dinan? Is it possible to let Dinan live in the partition room here alone? Thinking of this, he has a headache and is very distressed, and vaguely seems to see Dinan's sadness and tears. At the same time, he also needs to buy some high-end furniture and electrical appliances, and spend the remaining more than 1 million yuan in his hand. In fact, he really wants to keep the money in his hand, but he can't. Yesterday's updates were basically at night. Today, Lin Feng wants to update 2-3,000 word chapters during the day, and then update 2-3,000 word chapters at night. The total is 12,000. It's not a big outbreak, but it's a quick update. Make it a little more satisfying for his avid readers. Thinking of this, Lin Feng started typing on the keyboard. What started today was a new plot, a plot he had set before, and it was very smooth to write. Readers who like him can have a good enjoyment when they see it. In an hour and a half, Lin Feng wrote out more than 6,000 words, divided it into 2 chapters and posted it. He was in a good mood, because he was very satisfied with the plot he just wrote, and even the chapter names made him very satisfied. I simply admire myself. When Lin Feng planned to take a short break and write another chapter, his cell phone rang, and it turned out to be the call from Bai Man next to Hey Rose. Bai Man's charming and graceful appearance flashed in his mind, very warm and wonderful. Lin Feng picked it up and asked doubtfully, "Bai Man, did something happen to you? Did Black Rose torture you?" "I didn't encounter anything. The Black Rose didn't torture me, it's just that I haven't seen you for a while. I really want to know what you, a great writer, are doing, so I'll give you a call." It didn't affect you, did it?" "No." Then can I go to find you?" Bai Man actually proposed to come over to find him. "You do it?" Lin Feng wanted Bai Man to appear in this master bedroom. The premise is not to be discovered by Black Rose, otherwise Bai Man may be unlucky. An hour later, Bai Man arrived. Lin Feng saw her outside the gate of the community. He saw warmth in Bai Man's eyes. Seeing him, Bai Man should be very excited. Lin Feng and Bai Man both smiled, but they didn't meet many times, but they felt like they were old acquaintances. Walking into the community together, Bai Man smelled a very disgusting odor when passing by the waste bin, but she just frowned slightly, and did not make any comments on the environment of this dilapidated community, for fear of hurting Lin Feng's self-esteem. Lin Feng could probably guess what Bai Man was thinking. He said, "You will be amazed to know that I have purchased a luxury duplex of 318 SQM. But today, Lin Feng didn't plan to say this to Bai Man. Walking into the master bedroom, Bai Man immediately looked at Lin Feng's computer. Just like this very ordinary notebook is very magical, it is significantly different from other people's notebooks, and it can create some kind of miracle. In fact, this notebook is very ordinary, and the response speed is a bit slow. Lin Feng wanted to replace it for a while. It's just that the owner of this notebook is very unusual, so it brings a very special feeling to Bai Man. The computer was on, but the document had been closed. Lin Feng obviously didn't have any intention of writing in front of Bai Man. Lin Feng originally thought that Bai Man would sit on the sofa in a very hot posture, and then he could sit next to Bai Man and chat while eating tofu, but Bai Man sat down when he was typing. On that chair. Bai Man's trousers are very loose, and when she sits on the chair, her round buttocks appear larger, and the traces of the trousers are obvious. Lin Feng moved a chair and sat beside her, smiled and said, "It's boring to surf the internet, why don't we talk for a while? I don't want to go online, I want to read your novel, not from the page, but from the document." "No problem." Lin Feng opened the document for Bai Man to read, and Bai Man read it with great enthusiasm, with a happy smile on the corner of his mouth. If Bai Man was in a good mood the moment she saw Lin Feng, then now that she saw Lin Feng's novel document, she was in a better mood. In the past, when Black Rose was repairing Lin Feng, he once had a gun pointed at his head, and then asked Bai Man to solve it for him with his mouth. The atmosphere at that time was very tense and moist, and Bai Man's mouth brought him a wonderful enjoyment. Bai Man paid a lot that time. Without Bai Man's cooperation, Lin Feng even suspected that Hey Rose would shoot and break his leg. He was very skilled, but Hey Rose was a person in the underground world. Guns are hard to deal with. If he fights with Hey Rose, he may ruin his future. He came to Beijing to find the future, not to ruin the future. When it's time to fight, he will fight, but he has always been careful. This world is very big, and this world does not allow anyone to act recklessly. The warm scene turned around in Lin Feng's mind. Lin Feng's heart was very hot, and with gratitude to Bai Man, he took Bai Man into his arms. Bai Man didn't mean to resist at all, his eyes were still looking at the novel document, and the smile on the corner of his mouth became brighter, as if Lin Feng's hug made her very comfortable. Lin Feng kissed Baiman's face. Baiman still had no opinion, and the smile on the corner of his mouth was still so bright. Lin Feng's hand passed through the very trendy long gown and touched Baiman's flat belly, feeling the delicate smoothness. Baiman smiled brilliantly. "It's so itchy." "You bad guy, you can't let me read novels and eat all my tofu," Baiman complained. "Thank you for that time." "No need to thank you, because I admire you very much. I don't meet you often, but in my heart, I have long regarded you as a friend." "Me too, when you're a friend." Lin Feng found that although he and Baiman met only a few times, they only spent a few hours together, and when they met, they would have the feeling of an old acquaintance, even better than the one who had chatted together for 2 or 3 years. Netizens feel more subtle when they meet. If it is a netizen meeting, I thought it was a young man, but it may be an elderly person, and this elderly person may also make that kind of request in a pleading tone. If it is a netizen meeting, I thought it was a beautiful woman, but it may be a dinosaur or a man. The dinosaur also misses that, and the man also misses that. If you don't agree with that, you may take out a knife to gesture or be inattentive. The sweat medicine prepared in advance was sprinkled on the ground. If it's a netizen meeting, sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's up. Lin Feng and Baiman are not netizens. They are friends in reality. They have established a special friendship and a special tacit understanding under special circumstances. Baiman read the document for more than an hour, got up and walked towards the sofa. Lin Feng also walked over and sat on the sofa together. The fragrance emanating from Baiman's body became more intense. Lin Feng said, "Did you use Difan Nei?" "Yeah, you're really amazing. You can actually guess what brand of perfume I'm using. Speaking of which, this perfume was given by the boss of Black Rose. She gave me and Bing Chen a bottle that time. Actually, I guessed randomly, and I don't know, but I know that even if I guess wrong, you won't laugh at me. Maybe Black Rose is always nice to you, but she is indeed a very dangerous person." Lin Feng took Baiman into his arms again, and at the same time Baiman also hugged Lin Feng's body, raised his head slightly, and closed his eyes, looking forward to Lin Feng's warm kiss. Lin Feng's blood was boiling, his heartbeat was fast, he kissed Baiman's red lips, and when his tongue was entangled with Baiman's fragrant tongue, he sucked heartily. Lin Feng's hand moved up from Baiman's lower abdomen, and soon touched Baiman's chest photo, and soon passed through her chest photo, stroking the pair of plump balls. The panting Baiman was always intoxicated, but she became nervous when she felt Lin Feng's hand start to move down. Before Lin Feng's hand touched her panties, her slender legs were tight. When Lin Feng's hand touched her panties, her long and slender legs twisted in protest. But Lin Feng's hand still went through Baiman's trousers. Since Baiman's legs were too tight, he only got a little clue, but he was not able to tease the wet softness to his heart's content. Since Baiman doesn't want him to touch that moist softness, he should calm down. After all, Baiman is a woman who is kind to him. He can make Baiman comfortable, but he can't make Baiman uncomfortable. Both Lin Feng and Baiman calmed down, and Baiman did not complain angrily about Lin Feng's haunting behavior just now, as if nothing had happened just now. "How many heroines have appeared in your book?" Baiman said. What type is the next heroine?" Baiman said. "The next heroine will appear soon. It's a beautiful nurse in a hospital." "Oh, you mean, you want to be a heroine in my book?" "Yes, I really want my name Baiman to appear in your book. Why don't you let me be a charming female nurse in your book? I want to be someone who is full of good yearning for love. And finally gained love, a beautiful nurse with someone she likes by Mandeo." To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sukifeng. Chapter 384. No matter what happens in reality, in my book, I will let you do as you wish, Lin Feng said. Ask you, are you dissatisfied with the current situation? Do you not want to hang around with Black Rose anymore? Do you want to change your way of life? Lin Feng's continuous questioning made Baiman panic. Her beautiful face turned a little red, and she smiled relieved after a while. You didn't just ask me just once, you asked me several times, but your guess is not reliable. Spectrum, Black Rose is kind to me, and usually treats me well. I will continue to follow her. Maybe you will think that I am absurd, because my life rhythm and what I usually do are very different from yours, but every circle has its own rules, and since I've entered the circle, I can only live in my own way. Lin Feng said, but you must think clearly. Hey Rose is a person who mixes with the underground world. Even if she is now a duck to water and lives a lavish life, she can often walk by the river without wet shoes. Maybe in the near future, she's caught, and all of you her cronies will be implicated. Bai Man said, I've thought about the situation you mentioned, and I'm afraid Bing Chen and Sirius have thought about it too, but Hey Rose is a very cautious person with a huge network of connections, so she won't fall so easily. Lin Feng said, Huaxia has more people in the underground world than Hey Rose's network of connections. When there is a call for wind and rain, when there are drunken fans, but once something happens, there will be no good results. Bai Man said, Black Rose has her own uniqueness. Lin Feng pinched Baiman's arm. You are a little too superstitious about Hey Rose. Do you think she is omnipotent? Bai Man said, she is definitely not omnipotent, but I didn't intend to leave her. I will still be the person by her side. Even if something happens to her in the future, if I am implicated by her, it will be my life. Lin Feng was very depressed, but he knew that he could not change Baiman's loyalty to Hey Rose. Dream Flying Disco. Black Rose already knew that Baiman was looking for Lin Feng. She didn't let Baiman go, it was Baiman herself, but she found out. At this time, there was only Bing Chen by Hey Rose's side. She was very beautiful and cold. Seeing the corner of Hey Rose's mouth showing a fascinated smile, Bing Chen said, Boss, Bai Man is carrying you to find Lin Feng. Aren't you angry? She went to Lin Feng, which is a good thing for me. She is the person by my side. If she has a very good relationship with Lin Feng, then Lin Feng is equivalent to the person by my side. In fact, Hey Rose had been expecting Baiman to carry her to find Lin Feng, so when Baiman went out alone, she started looking for someone to follow. Baiman only went to find Lin Feng secretly today. In her opinion, the rhythm was a bit slow. Boss, your idea seems to be a little too optimistic. It's not optimistic, I'm justified. Even if Lin Feng won't become someone by my side because of Bai Man, then at a critical moment, I can also use Bai Man to blackmail Lin Feng, Hey Rose said. Boss, you are so tall. If I'm not smart at all, how could I be here today? I'm afraid I would have been hacked to death or imprisoned a few years ago. Hey Rose was quite proud. Baiman stayed in Lin Feng's room for more than 2 hours. Before leaving, she told Lin Feng that during this time, Black Rose could contact you at any time, and she also wanted you to fight with the masters that Dongying Ren Xiangjing found. Lin Feng naturally didn't want to do boxing for Black Rose, even if he could get money. He didn't want to do it either. His kung fu was not for punching, but he had used his kung fu several times before. Night. When Dang Nan came back, Lin Feng had already written 12,000 words and completed the update. Dai Nan went to Lin Feng's room, saw the movie screen on the computer screen, smiled and said, have you completed the task? Today's code is over. Oh. By the way, has the store's turnover exceeded 1,000? Lin Feng said with a smile. It's over. I didn't expect that there will be more than 1,000 during the summer vacation. If I can also exceed 1000 tomorrow, I will be very happy. The business during the summer vacation is not as optimistic as you think. Who made our small store mainly rely on the students of Beijing Normal University. If we open our store in a bustling commercial street, it will not be affected by the winter and summer vacations. The more the holiday, the more popular the business may be. By the way, Baiman has been here, Lin Feng said. What is she here for? Come to play with me, and want to be a heroine in my book, a heroine who hopes for love and gets love. At the same time, she also told me that Black Rose may contact me at any time to help her fight, Lin Feng said. I found out when I was still the lead dancer at Menfei Yang Disco that Baiman is a good woman. She is also very good to you now. This woman is very friendly. It's a pity that she is the person by Hey Rose's side. Dinan, he sighed and said, Black Rose, this vicious woman, is too difficult to deal with. It's been so long, and she still hasn't given up on letting you be her cannon fodder. You might as well. Why don't you call the police? If you call the police and the police find out about Black Rose's problem, it's fine, but I estimate that even if you call the police won't be able to find out about Black Rose's problem for a while, and Black Rose may be even more aggressive against me, Lin Feng said. Then let Ye Zi help you. Even if Black Rose is very powerful, she has to give Miss Ye's face from Hung to company. If she annoys Ye will have tossed with her, enough for her to drink a pot. Not necessarily, in fact, Black Rose doesn't need to care too much about Ye Zi. Maybe it will give Ye Zi a little face on the surface, but when it really comes to the critical moment, it may not give Ye Zi face, because they are not in the same circle. Even if the relationship between Hung to company the net is even bigger, and it may not be able to get the Black Rose, and the Black Rose is unlikely to ask Ye to do things for her, Lin Feng said. Then what are you going to do? Step by step. When Lin Feng wanted to play a little ambiguous with Dinan left his room. As if he could see his intentions, Lin Feng said in his heart, I still want to hug your flesh for a few minutes, and by the way twist you a few times. If I hear your screams, my inspiration will explode. At that time, my mind is full of inspiration, and the whole room is full of inspiration, but you just go out. Lin Feng wanted to make the inspiration fly, but the inspiration did not fly. 2 days have passed, and nothing special has happened. In the past 2 days, Lin Feng has been reading novels in addition to coding, and at the same time, he has also pondered about the messy things he encountered. Some things are indeed difficult to figure out. What made Lin Feng depressed was that he saw Zhao Heidao on the internet, but no one paid any attention to him. He saw it twice, once when Zhao Heidao saw him online and immediately went offline, and once when they were both online, but who could neither send a message to each other. What made Lin Feng even more anxious was that the daughter of the coal boss Su Qingyuan actually sent him a text message saying that she missed him. It was as if each other had really done that kind of thing before, as if he made Su Qingyuan extremely comfortable and left a very wonderful impression on this rich daughter. Even playing pranks, you need to have restraint. It has been so long, and the issues that should be made clear should also be made clear. You can't let him take the blame all the time, but Su Qingyuan seems to want to continue the nonsense, and it's even more crazy nonsense. I have to go to Taiyuan, Jin province, but Lin Feng plans to go home first. Although he has been away from home a lot since he was in college, Lin Feng is a person who loves his family very much. When he comes home and sees his parents, he will feel very fulfilled. There is a saying in Huaxia state that if the parents are there, they don't travel far, but the reality is that the parents are there, but most of the children have traveled far. Warmth. Lin Feng has already chatted with Dinan and plans to go home tomorrow, probably staying at home for about half a month. Dinan was very sad. Although he controlled himself not to write the sadness on his face, Lin Feng still understood the sadness from Dinan's beautiful face. The connected hearts are sometimes like rivers fused together, flowing together, enjoying the scenery on the shore together, and flowing into the distance together, sometimes like the banks facing each other. You understand me, I understand you, but you can only are looking at each other. Lin Feng really wanted to become a river that merged with Dainan, but now he and Dainan are just facing each other. Dainan didn't want to let Lin Feng leave for a day, so she didn't need to sleep together or do that, but as long as Lin Feng was by her side, she would be very fulfilled. It's a little far, and she can make 200 yuan for a taxi, and she will be very fulfilled. It's almost evening. Lin Feng and Dainan are both staying at Fengnan Fashion Store. A few days ago, the turnover broke 1,000, which made Dainan very happy, but it will not work in the next few days, especially today. Not 200 bucks. Those who buy things seem to be on a nerve, and suddenly they come, and suddenly they don't come. Dainan said depressedly, really, there are so many people walking around the school, why no one comes in to buy things? Lin Feng, you bring them all in and let them consume. Lin Feng lit a cigarette and blew a sigh of smoke at Dainan's beautiful face. My beauty, you are domineering enough, and you still want to forcefully buy and sell. Just kidding, where am I? Oh, who is your beauty? King Zhu is your beauty, but I'm not. You and King Zhu are my beauties, Lin Feng said. You don't hate me, I'm not, Dainan said. Lin Feng proposed to go out to eat together, but Dainan had no objection. The moment he closed the roller shutter, he sighed unwillingly, I plan to get the first pot of gold through this small shop, maybe I can get a little bit, but now it seems that, my first pot of gold is not going anywhere. If you want to make 10 million yuan through this small shop, it is simply impossible. Maybe you will think that as long as everyone at Beijing Normal University contributes a few hundred yuan to the small shop, you can make a lot of money, but this kind of ideals that are only possible in economic models do not exist in reality. As far as you have a culture, you even mentioned economic models. I didn't go to college. I don't know any economic models. All I know is that I opened a small shop with a bad guy, and the business of the small shop not very optimistic, Dainan said softly. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 385. Dainan is so cute at this time. If he didn't kiss her face, Lin Feng couldn't move, so he quickly kissed Dainan's face. Oh! Let people see it. You're crazy, it annoys me. Dainan was panting while complaining, and his voice was a little hurried. It was indeed seen by a few people just now, but they all regarded them as couples playing small ambiguous on the road, and they would not take it too seriously, but there were two single men. It was exciting to Dainan's beauty and figure, thinking that it would be very comfortable to sleep with such a superb beauty in her arms. Walking into a restaurant that the two of them are familiar with, and sitting in the private room, after ordering food, Dainan said with a smile, did you just notice that the lady boss of this restaurant has a special look at the two of us? Actually, that woman with a big and a little wide crotch has looked at the two of us with this kind of look before. She probably doesn't understand how she looks at it. What is the relationship between the two of us? We are clearly very close, but in addition to you, I have brought other women to this hotel, such as my second beauty teacher Shang Yuna, and King Zhu, the beautiful schoolgirl that I love and struggle with, Lin Feng said. King Zhu will become your girlfriend. She will be your girlfriend after she returns from Qiushan Town, Shu Province. Are you so sure? Lin Feng said. Certainly. If King Zhu has contacted you after returning to Qiushan Town in Shu Province, I still hope you can tell me, Lin Feng said. I said it before, she hasn't contacted me since she went back. I said that King Zhu will be your girlfriend when she comes back. It is also inferred from the feelings of the two of you and your dedication to it. If you doubt me again, I'll hit your head with chopsticks. Knock hard. Lin Feng's head came over and was pushed back by Dinan. Lin Fengzin said, Dinan, my most beautiful beauty, I really want to sleep with you. I really want you to be my woman. If you are willing to be my girlfriend, I don't care about anyone else. Let's sleep and live as much as we like. It's a pity, you won't be my girlfriend, maybe the two of us can sleep as much as we like in the future. But it is impossible to live life to the fullest. Even if the two of us continue to be close, my life is my life, your life is your life, and my life and your life are two different flavors of life. 4 dishes and 1 soup, 3 hot dishes. A cold dish, and a seaweed egg soup. Dinan has already started eating vegetables and rice. Lin Feng asked for a bottle of wine. Dinan said that her throat was a little sore and didn't want to drink. Lin Feng said that you are angry, Dinan say I've been on fire for many years. But I don't often have a sore throat when I get angry, probably because I got really angry today. Lin Feng said that you don't want to drink me, so he asked for a bottle of 100 yuan liquor, which was so strong that it could completely knock him out. Lin Feng drank twice in a row. Dinan expressed concern and smiled, it seems that you don't want to code tonight. I will definitely be able to code words. I plan to code 9,000 words tonight. That is 3 chapters of 3,000 words, Lin Feng said. As you said before, if you drink alcohol, you will get dizzy, you just want to sleep, and you don't want to code. Yeah, but I can't help it. Who made me want to drink so much now? Just faint. If you don't want me to be too dizzy, then help me share a little bit, Lin Feng said. You're so annoying. I didn't want to drink, but in order for you to write smoothly tonight, I'll give my life to accompany the gentleman. By the way, some women may think you are a rogue. But in my heart, you very gentleman, not flirty, and a man. Sometimes I sneak up on beautiful women's butts. That's not indecent, Dinan said. Then what level of things have I done to be considered indecent? Have you ever done something like stealing a beautiful woman's underwear and throwing it into the sewer? No, Lin Feng said. Then you're not lewd, cheers. Dinan raised a glass and touched Lin Feng. He also drank heavily. He took a sip of liquor with several heights. The heat wave was churning in his body, and his beautiful face turned a little red in an instant. The wine red makes Dinan more and more amorous. The wine red makes Dinan more and more hot. When eating, drinking and chatting, Lin Feng would always stare at Dinan's face. Several times, Dinan and Lin Feng's eyes collided, and each time Lin Feng did not evade but Dinan did. Lin Feng said, when I'm not in Beijing, if you have anything you can call Hong Ying, I have already told her, and I will take care of you when necessary. Dinan said, in the past, I was looking for Li Xiao from the Jinwu Center. Now Li Xiao's injury has not healed. If I really encounter difficult things, I can only look for Hong Ying. If I can meet more people in Beijing, what a strong man. Lin Feng said, weaving a network of relationships is a very tedious job. Some lines are by chance. Otherwise, you may keep using your hot face to touch other people's cold ass. Dinan laughed and quickly grabbed the wine glass and took a sip. Lin Feng said in his heart, you are really afraid that I will faint. No woman has ever thought of me like you, except my mother. Lin Feng drank half of a bottle of white wine, and Dinan drank half of it. When they walked out of the restaurant, both of them were very drunk. Seeing that Dinan's footsteps were walking in the direction of the community, Lin Feng knew that Dinan didn't want to wait for customers in the store this evening. When he was about to reach the community, Dinan stopped, looked at the lights not far away a little blankly, and soon looked at Lin Feng's face again. Opening a small shop to do business is really worrying. If you can do it every day, don't worry about money, you can do what you want to do every day, such as singing, dancing, clubbing, and swimming with your loved ones. How wonderful it would be. Lin Feng said, there is a good father, it is possible, but your father doesn't want you. So you can't, you have to worry about it. Seeing that Dinan's face changed, and it seemed that he was going to get angry, Lin Feng quickly said, "It's okay, your father doesn't want you anymore, I want you. Kick you to death." The truth that Lin Feng said just now through Jijin undoubtedly hurt Dinan's heart. Dinan's slender legs lifted and kicked Lin Feng's thing with one kick. Kicks well and hard. Lin Feng's body has a very strong fighting ability, but although his object is also a part of his body, its fighting ability is very limited. His object prefers to touch wet softness rather than strong attacks. Lin Feng covered the thing the moment he bent over, and squeezed two words out of his teeth. "I rely on." Dinan became flustered, and hurriedly through Lin Feng's arm, tears were about to flow out, and he cried, "I'm sorry, I kicked you so hard, why don't you hide in that part of you? If I hide, how are you going to calm down?" Lin Feng was still in pain, but he forced himself to straighten up, and continued to walk forward as if it didn't matter. He said in his heart, "This is the second time that my thing has been attacked so violently by a beautiful woman. This time it seems to be better than the last time. Still heavy." Lin Feng opened the door of the master bedroom. Dinan followed. Lin Feng sat on the sofa and lit a cigarette. Dinan stood in front of him in a daze. When Lin Feng was halfway through the cigarette, Dinan said, "You, take off your pants and let me see." "No need. When I didn't want to watch it before, you always wanted me to watch it, but now I really want to watch it." "Why don't you want me to watch it?" Dinan said. "Do you really want to see it? I see what the injury looks like. If my kick makes your baby unable to use it, I will be so sorry for Kingzu," Dinan said. Lin Feng looked very depressed. "If that thing of mine can't be used, I won't let Kingzu be my girlfriend, I won't implicate her, I won't let her become an empty and lonely woman. There is no woman who doesn't need that thing from a man, even if Kingzu is very pure. She also needs that thing from a man, but that thing of mine, God, what about my life? It's so serious, take it off and show it to me." Dinan asked again that Lin Feng had even more reason to take it off to show her, so he took off his pants. The trousers also came off, and the behemoth jumped out. "I went there, it doesn't seem to be a problem." "Internal injury," Lin Feng said. "Injuring your sister? Let you scold me." Lin Feng picked up Dinan and went to the bed, and proposed to let Dinan warm his baby with his mouth. If it weren't for a special situation, it is estimated that Dinan would refuse. Since Kingzu appeared in Lin Feng's life, Dinan didn't want to be too ambiguous with him, but in this situation, she could only use her mouth. Dinan's mouth is soft. Dinan's mouth is smooth. Dinan's mouth brought a very strong happiness to Lin Feng. Lin Feng wanted to make this ecstasy continue, but the door opened. He Rose and Bing Chen actually appeared. Baiman and Tianlang didn't follow, just the two of them, but the surprise to Lin Feng and Dinan was already very violent. Dinan screamed and turned his head, not daring to look at He Rose and Bing Chen. Lin Feng was very angry, stared at He Rose's face indifferently for a while, then he lifted his trousers again, turned sideways, and stood on the ground. "Black Rose, I've never seen anyone more abhorrent than you. Who made you break into my room all of a sudden? I think. Black Rose, I warn you, if you keep pestering me, I will fight with you as hard as you can. If you really fight, you may not be able to beat me as a beautiful hero in the underground world," Lin Feng said. "Your relationship with the eldest Miss Yaya of Hungtu Company is getting better and better. You even borrowed money to buy a luxury house, so your temper is getting bigger and bigger. In fact, your progress is fundamental in my eyes. It's nothing, even in a few years, I, Black Rose, won't be afraid of you." Lin Feng sneered and said, "You really don't care about me in general, I'm not your man, and I'm not your father, why do you care so much about me? You know what I've done, but I don't understand, when will this haunted woman completely disappear from my life?" To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest the motivation of mobile phone users. Please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sukifeng. Chapter 386. Black Rose put on a very hot posture and sat on the sofa, picked up a slender cigarette and started smoking. Bing Chen put on a cool posture and stood beside her. Bing Chen's face was cold, yes, but her hot pose is reminiscent of lamps and whips. It might be interesting to play the game of lamps and whips with Bing Chen, a cool and graceful beauty. If Bing Chen really irritated him, Lin Feng planned to use the lamp and whip to deal with Bing Chen. Black Rose's lips smeared with lavender lipstick curled up slightly, and blew a breath of smoke in the direction of Lin Feng. Look at the Du Niang news. What's wrong? Lin Feng thought that something special happened. Several experts predict that in a few years, there will be a certain chance that a small star will collide with the Earth. If it does collide, I will disappear from your life. If it does not collide, I will be in your life. If you don't listen to me, I will torture you. If you listen to me, I will make you very comfortable, Hey Rose said. You rascal. Lin Feng thought it was impossible for the asteroid to collide with the Earth at all, not even 1 in 10 million. Black Rose's words were full of jokes, which made him extremely angry. He rushed over in a moment of blood boiling. Bing Chen looked at it. When Lin Feng wanted to attack Hey Rose, he immediately punched Lin Feng's face. Bing Chen punched with great strength, obviously wanting to knock Lin Feng to the ground with one punch. Lin Feng felt a little disdain in his heart. He avoided Bing Chen's punch, and the moment he turned Bing Chen aside, a slap slapped Hey Rose's face. With a slap, the blood in Hey Rose's nostrils splashed. Came out. Dinan was stunned. She couldn't believe the scene in front of her, but Lin Feng did give Hey Rose a slap in the face just now. Black Rose's nostrils were bleeding, and Black Rose's beautiful face like a female fairy was swollen, and then rolled to the ground, very embarrassed. Lin Feng. I think your kid is tired and crooked. Hey Rose didn't care about dealing with her bleeding nose. She took out her gun the moment she got up, aimed it at Lin Feng's head, and opened the insurance. Bing Chen also felt that Lin Feng was tired of living and actually slapped the boss of Hey Rose. Bing Chen hoped that Hey Rose would shoot Lin Feng immediately. Even if he didn't plan to kill him, it would be fine to shoot him in the thigh. Let him bleed as he pleases. When Black Rose pointed a gun at his head again, Lin Feng became fearless and laughed in a daze. Before I came to Beijing, I had a lot of good imaginations, and I really wanted to live in this big city that many people said was good. I didn't expect something to come out of it. When I come here, I will meet a woman like you, and I will not let you go. You might as well shoot me to death. Hey Rose didn't intend to shoot, but Dinan was still very worried. At this time, Dinan was sticking to Lin Feng's body, and she planned to use her body to block Lin Feng's bullets at a critical moment. She is a person abandoned by her parents. She can leave this world in such a tragic way. She doesn't want Lin Feng to die like this. Both Hey Rose and Bing Chen could see clearly that Dinan just wanted to block the bullets for Lin Feng, and Hey Rose said, Dinan, you are too Lin Feng, he made you so comfortable or gave you a drink ecstasy. Shoot you. Lin Feng took 2 steps closer to Black Rose. Black Rose's finger was next to the trigger, but she didn't pull the trigger. Damn it, you broke my old lady's nose. Your slap is too hard. Hey Rose actually said such a thing, turned off the insurance, put away the gun, and then went out. Bing Chen wanted to follow. Hey Rose said, you don't need to follow me, I just wanted to go to the bathroom to wash my face. Bing Chen took 2 steps back and stood on the edge of the sofa. When Black Rose walked out, Lin Feng said to Bing Chen, you are very beautiful. You are very cold, and you are also disgusting. Bing Chen's brows furrowed, and she wanted to kick Lin Feng, but she quickly thought that she was far from Lin Feng's opponent in terms of kung fu. I was very afraid that Lin Feng would touch her thigh, and even more afraid that Lin Feng would touch her Daowen. At this time, Lin Feng not only wanted to eat Bing Chen's tofu, but also wanted to bring pain to Bing Chen. If Bing Chen dared to take action, he would repair Bing Chen, but Bing Chen never took action, just looked at him with special eyes. Dainan knew what Lin Feng was thinking, and thought Bing Chen was hateful, so when Lin Feng stimulated Bing Chen, she didn't say anything. After Black Rose washed her face, her nose stopped bleeding, but her beautiful face was swollen. As a beautiful hero in the underground world, she was rarely so embarrassed. She slapped others countless times, but other people's slaps it rarely falls on her face, but Lin Feng slaps her so loudly and powerfully. When the Black Rose went out, Lin Feng began to think, this time the trouble happened, she fanned the Black Rose, how should it end? It would be great if he could hold back at that time, but he couldn't help it at all, he had to fan the Black Rose, and he really fanned the Black Rose, and the next thing he was going to face was something he couldn't predict. Dainan, Bing Chen, both of you go out, I want to chat with Lin Feng alone for a while, He Rose said. Dainan and Bing Chen both walked out. Dainan returned to her partition room, Bing Chen did not go to Dainan's room, but stood in the narrow corridor. There were only two people left in the room, Lin Feng and He Rose. Lin Feng was a little panicked. Could it be that He Rose would suddenly use a trick that even his dragon and snake legs couldn't handle? If Black Rose still wants to shoot, he is not afraid, he will intercept Black Rose before she makes that move. Lin Feng said, I hit you, what are you going to do with me? Black Rose said, are you afraid? Lin Feng said, I'm afraid, I couldn't provoke you at first, but what's the use of being afraid, tell me, what do you think? Black Rose said, if I go too far, will you fight with me? Lin Feng said, yes, if you don't kill me, then I will kill you. I killed you in this room, and then carry your body to the police station, don't take a taxi, walk all the way, people passing by on the road. The people sitting in the cars on the road, no one has my cow. He Rose felt a chill in her heart. Even if she was a hero in the underground world, she was afraid sometimes. If the special police wanted to take her, she would have to run away. At this time, Lin Feng also made her a little scared. Of course, because of Black Rose's character, she would not let Lin Feng go completely because she was a little scared, otherwise it would be equivalent to losing the game between her and Lin Feng. Black Rose said, if you promise me two things, the two of us won't have to fight until the fish die and the net is broken. If you don't promise, then come on, there will be a break today, and I'm not afraid of dying in your hands. I'm not afraid that you will carry my body to the police station. Lin Feng said, what are these two things? Black Rose said, the first thing, kiss me for half an hour, the second thing, fight for me with the master that Xiong Jing found. If these two things can resolve the resentment caused by his violent slap just now, he would be more than happy to do it. What made him strange was why the beautiful hero Black Rose asked him to kiss him for half an hour. Could it be that he fell in love with him? Impossible. He and He Rose are people in two circles. He and He Rose do not have any common hobbies. He and He Rose have completely different lifestyles. How could He Rose fall in love with him? Maybe the Black Rose is lonely. Maybe the Black Rose got wet. Lin Feng hugged He Rose's graceful and gentle body and kissed her face. For the first few minutes, Lin Feng kept kissing the swollen part of He Rose's face. Although it was swollen, her skin was still delicate and she kissed her. It feels good. Lin Feng's mouth slowly moved towards He Rose's lips, He Rose closed her eyes slightly, and her breathing became more and more rapid. Finally, their mouths were facing each other, He Rose's lips were open, and Lin Feng's tongue was like it slipped in like a small snake, entangled with the fragrant tongue of the Black Rose. The kiss is in full swing. Black Rose's towering chest rubbed against Lin Feng's body. At this time, the state of Lin Feng and He Rose was not like an opponent, but like a pair of intimate lovers. Almost 10 minutes into the kiss, Lin Feng's hand pressed against He Rose's belly. He Rose didn't mean to resist at all. She stroked He Rose's delicate skin, and Lin Feng's hand moved up slowly, touching it. At the edge of the black rose lace bust, she still didn't mean to resist. Maybe she would like to. Perhaps a rage that was unprecedented for her was brewing. But Lin Feng has already thought about it, that is to touch He Rose's towering chest. His hand passed through the lace chest photo and touched He Rose's chest, kneading the pair of plump to the fullest. Black Rose's breathing became more and more rapid, and the two hot bodies kept moving towards the soft bed. When they approached the edge of the bed, Black Rose seemed to want to stop herself, but Lin Feng's body was too strong. It's like a moving wall. Wherever Lin Feng's body moves, Black Rose has to move with it. Finally, Black Rose was pressed by Lin Feng onto the big soft bed. Her lower abdomen felt Lin Feng's upright, her heart beat wildly, and her graceful body twisted with all her might. When Lin Feng's hand moved towards He Rose's trousers, He Rose grabbed Lin Feng's hand with all her might, and even wanted to get rid of Lin Feng's hot kiss, but wherever He Rose's head shook, Lin Feng kissed. If Lin Feng really wanted to tease the wetness in Black Rose's panties, he could do it with enough strength in his hands, but he didn't do it in the end, lest Black Rose be even more terrifying. The kiss continued. Since Black Rose just said to kiss her for half an hour, Lin Feng must kiss her for half an hour. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 387. Time up. Lin Feng and He Rose's lips parted. Lin Feng seemed to enjoy it, but He Rose was very embarrassed, panting violently in panic, obviously not yet completely freed from the shock just now. A few minutes later, Black Rose finally calmed down a little, got off the bed, gave Lin Feng a stern look, sat on the sofa, and sneered, "You are so brave, I only let you kiss me, but you not only touched my chest, pressed me onto the bed, and even wanted to touch my. Are you really afraid that I will shoot you to death? You really want me to be your cannon fodder? The so-called cannon fodder is to help you die at a critical moment. If you kill me with one shot, it means that your previous efforts will be in vain. Isn't it a pity, Lin Feng wrote. You seem to be a sensible person, but you are wrong. I don't want you to be my cannon fodder, I just want you to be my good friend, a good friend who can make a fortune together." Black Rose said it beautifully, but she couldn't change the fact that she wanted Lin Feng to be cannon fodder. Sometimes Black Roses are hypocritical. Sometimes Black Rose is very confusing. She has an extraordinary ability to make many people who have made cannon fodder for her applaud. Lin Feng would not applaud for Black Rose, because he is a sensible person, and he knows that the purpose of Black Rose's entanglement with him is to make him work hard. Lin Feng really wanted to slap Black Rose again, but after thinking about it, let it go. Lin Feng smiled coldly, lit a cigarette, and exhaled a puff of smoke in the direction of He Rose. At this time, his behavior was a little joking, but He Rose didn't make any comments. Lin Feng is probably one of the few people who dares to treat Black Rose like this. Lin Feng said, "I have completed the first thing just now, as for the second thing, you want me to help you fight with the masters that Dongying Ren Xiangjing found. I can do it too, but I hope you will in the future. You can change your attitude towards me. You know exactly what I mean." Black Rose smiled warmly, made an OK gesture with her right finger, and got up and said, "Then I'm leaving, I'll contact you in a day or two, maybe you really want to go home soon. But you have to help me get things done before I can go back." Black Rose walked out of Lin Feng's room and left with Bing Chen, but the aroma of Black Rose was still wafting in Lin Feng's room, and the ambiguous scene with Hey Rose just now was still floating in Lin Feng's mind. The Black Rose made him very confused. The Black Rose made him very ecstatic. At the same time, the Black Rose also made him very confused. He didn't know what happened this time, when he dealt with the master that Yujing found. What will Black Rose do to him? Lin Feng hoped that Black Rose would disappear from his life, as if they had never known each other, and even if they met on the street or in a shopping mall in the future, they should not know each other. It can be inferred from what Black Rose just said inside and outside the words, this situation is obviously impossible. Dainan walked in, and according to the shape of Lin Feng's pants, it was inferred that Lin Feng's thing was tall and straight. She smiled helplessly. What did you and Hey Rose do in the half hour just now? I found that you were very impulsive. I heard. Stop joking. Dainan didn't believe that Lin Feng got on the Black Rose, and she also knew that the Black Rose would not let Lin Feng get on her easily. Maybe Hey Rose didn't want people to know that she was having an affair with Lin Feng, but Lin Feng still told the scene just now. Dainan was surprised after hearing it. He hesitated for a moment and said, "It's a bad dish." "What's wrong?" "Black Rose fell in love with you," Dainan said. Lin Feng was startled. After a while, he smiled relievedly. There are all kinds of possibilities, but this kind of possibility is not available. Even if Black Rose doesn't fall in love with you, she still has desires for you, otherwise she won't let you kiss her, and when you touch her, she will fight hard, Dainan said. Actually, Black Rose resisted. When I wanted to put my hand into her panties, she started to resist. Her resistance came a little late, so she has a desire for you. When you look at the Black Rose, the whole body is like a ripe peach. She also needs a man, and we all have a private life with the Black Rose. I don't know much, and I don't know if there are any men by her side, Dainan said. This question is really confusing. Is there a man around Black Rose? Is there one or a few fixed men who accompany her warmly or play various wet games when she is lonely? Lin Feng originally wanted to type a lot of words, but he wasted a lot of time with Black Rose just now. When Lin Feng faced the document, he was a little frustrated, and his train of thought was broken. Dainan saw that Lin Feng was in a daze, and smiled relievedly. Did your thinking affect the Black Rose? The impact is so great that I don't even know what to write next. I'll use your chest, Lin Feng said. What you wrote is not an ambiguous plot. Even if you touch my chest, will you be inspired? No matter what kind of story I'm about to write, if I touch your chest, I will be very inspired. When my hand touches your chest, my mind becomes the vast sky. Inspiration is like the stars in the sky, everywhere. It seems very beautiful. Then you can touch my chest, Dainan said. Lin Feng stroked Dainan's towering chest, soft and delicate, with a warm aroma. Awesome. A few minutes later, Lin Feng's finger flicked against Dainan's chest. Dainan felt a little pain, and with a cry, Pink Fist landed on Lin Feng's arm, and said angrily, "Good boy, you dare to abuse me." Chest. Inspiration came. Then you quickly code, "Be careful that inspiration runs away," Dainan said. Lin Feng began to type on the keyboard. Dainan sat on the side and watched silently. She found that the plot that Lin Feng wrote at this time was very beautiful and the writing was also very good. She said in her heart, "Lin Feng, I really admire you, and I will always be very fond of you. I admire you, even if you do something that I despise in the future, I will still admire you." In less than an hour and a half, more than 6,000 words came out, and Lin Feng divided into 2 chapters and posted them. Do you want to continue? Certainly. When Lin Feng was about to type on the keyboard, the newly appeared avatar of the bright spring and white snow flickered, and the message sent was, "Great writer. What are you doing? I've been reading your book." Lin Feng looked at Dainan. This spring and white snow is definitely not the one from before, but she is still reading my book, and she should be regarded as my reader. How do you think I should talk to her? Dinan was stopped, thought for a moment, and said, I don't know how you should talk to her, just talk about it. 2 chapters have just been updated. Linfeng's psychological pressure is not so great, and he sent a message to Yang Chunbaixu, thank you for your support. Do you have any valuable comments on my novel? Yang Chunbaixu, I think your writing is very good. Many of the plots are beyond my imagination. There are many variables that are not divorced from reality. I have no opinions at present. I'll let you know if I think of it later. It's kind of cordial. Linfeng didn't dislike the message Yang Chunbaixu sent just now, but Linfeng didn't know what to say next, so he sent a smile. When Linfeng planned to continue coding, the news came again, what do you think women's golden careers have? Linfeng stuck out his tongue at Dinan. Dinan also stuck out his tongue at Linfeng, and neither of them obviously thought that Yang Chunbaixu would ask such a question. Linfeng, teachers, doctors, nurses, civil servants, white-collar workers in companies, these are all golden occupations for women. The key depends on what a woman likes. Of course, if you want to be a strong woman, you want to be a golden turtle son-in-law. It will get a little tiring. Yang Chunbaixu, agree. I'm in the occupations you just listed. Can you guess what I do? Linfeng didn't want to guess, and sent a message saying, how do I know? Oh, I want to code, let's talk back. Yang Chunbaixu, guess what, it won't waste much of your time. Linfeng saw that Yang Chunbaixu had been reading his book. Going to guess, civil servants. Spring and snow, no. Linfeng, white-collar workers. Spring and snow, no. Linfeng kept guessing, but when he guessed the teacher and the nurse, the message sent by Yang Chunbaixu was a smile. It seems that this Yang Chunbaixu is either a teacher or a nurse, Linfeng said, what do you think she is? Dinan said, she is a woman. Linfeng said, nonsense. Of course I know she is a woman, what I am asking is, what does she do? Dinan said, maybe it's a teacher, maybe a nurse, oh, this Yang Chunbaixu won't be your second Shangyuna. Linfeng was even a little panicked. He didn't want the Yang Chunbaixu who was teasing him to be Shangyuna at all, because he already didn't want to have anything to do with Shangyuna. The last time he met, he deliberately offended Shangyuna. Now, it is estimated that I will not be able to make friends in the future. Although I have been in love, although I have been passionate, it is very likely that I will be a stranger in the future. It doesn't matter if you think about it, it just doesn't matter. Linfeng lit a cigarette, pondered it carefully, and flipped through the chat log again. He said, Yang Chunbaixu can't be Shangyuna, I guess she's not a teacher, she's a nurse on behalf of Nandao. If this Yang Chunbaixu is really a female nurse, it will be very interesting. Female nurses can always evoke wonderful fantasies of men. Maybe this Yang Chunbaixu will be a beautiful nurse, with a beautiful face, plump and legs. Slim, oh, I said that, your body seems to have a great response. Linfeng said, actually, my body reacted when you walked into my room. Dinan said, you first stimulated the black rose, and then you stimulated me, and now you are stimulated by the new spring and white snow, do you really want to die? Linfeng said, I don't want to die at all, but I really want to digest all the stimulation you brought me. Dinan said, if you can really do it, then your appetite will be very good. Yang Chunbaixu sent another message, did you guess my occupation? Linfeng, you are a nurse. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi. Chapter 388. A few minutes passed, but Yang Chunbaixue didn't send a message. Lin Feng started to code. Half an hour later, Yang Chunbaixue still didn't send a message. It seems that he doesn't plan to chat with him this time, but Lin Feng believes that this newly appeared Yang Chunbaixue won't just disappear, and he won't be able to find a shadow at all. Chat. Lin Feng said, maybe he guessed right. Dainan said, mostly right. I feel that this new Yang Chunbaixue also seems to know you. Who do you think she is? Lin Feng said that among the women I know, none of them are nurses. Dainan said, you missed a person. Lin Feng hesitated for a moment, and a flash of light flashed in his mind. A charming female nurse appeared in his mind. He said, you mean Meng Jiwei's Aunt Zhu Qingyu? That charming head nurse. Dainan said, yes, you and Zhu Qingyu must have known each other. You bought your mansion from Zhu Qingyu's friend Mi Yanqing. Although you have no friendship with Zhu Qingyu, you can tell me intuitively that she loves you. Impressive. Lin Feng said, I also found that Zhu Qingyu didn't dislike me. She always looked at me with warm eyes, and she showed me a very friendly smile several times, but I felt that it was not me that attracted her, but because I persuaded Meng Jiwei before to let Meng Jiwei relax at the most painful moment of his parents' divorce. Dainan said, actually, you are a man who is very attractive to women. Although you are not a rich young master, there is something very special about you. Lin Feng said, that thing. Dainan angrily punched Lin Feng, besides that thing, you have other things. Lin Feng recalled, could it be that his taste really attracts women? Why didn't this kind of taste show up in the college days? In the college days, if it wasn't for his stalking, it is estimated that even Shen Bingqian would not be able to catch up, and there are not a few people who can be called beautiful women at Yanzhou University of Science and Technology. Why? No other beauties came after him or looked for life for him. But nothing. Even if the beauties discovered his special taste at this time and thought he was attractive, it was not too late, he was still very young, and he still had a lot of time to play games with various beauties. Lin Feng not only thought of Zhu Qingyu's charming appearance, but also thought of the hot and graceful appearance of Mi Yanqing, the beautiful bar owner in the 1980s, so he was stimulated even more, but his body did not explode instantly, he was constantly digest the stimulus. Lin Feng really hoped that this new spring and white snow was Meng Jiwei's Aunt Zhu Qingyu. Because Zhu Qingyu is different from her elder sister Zhu Qinglan, she is a very good woman and a very unfortunate woman. She is about to get married, but the beloved man gave his life while saving the children in the moat, and saved 3 children. But he couldn't come up. Lin Feng clearly remembered that the man was called Dahe. In Zhu Qingyu's mouth is, my Dahe, although Dahe is no longer in the world, but Zhu Qingyu still believes that Dahe belongs to her. Dainan said, why don't you call Zhu Qingyu and ask, is this new Yang Chunbaixue her? Lin Feng said, even if it's her, I'm afraid she won't admit it easily. If she really wants me to know who she is, she'll tell me when she's chatting. If she wants to pretend to be mysterious, then continue to be mysterious. There will always be one day I will unravel her mystery. Also, don't worry, I'm a little tired. Go to rest, you can continue to code. Dainan walked out with graceful steps, but the aroma of her body lingered in Lin Feng's room for a long time, lingering. Lin Feng wanted to say, why don't you stay in my room, let's lie down on the bed together, but if he says this. In exchange, it is estimated that Dainan's white eyes. Lin Feng didn't think about who this Yang Chunbaixue was for the time being. In fact, he wanted to know who the Yang Chunbaixue who had helped him a lot before. He continued to type on the keyboard, and the plot continued. At the same time, the plot of his life continues. After Lin Feng updated the 3,000 words, he had no intention of coding. He closed the document, stared at the computer desktop for a moment, then lit a cigarette and started smoking. He saw that the new avatar of Yang Chun Baixu had turned gray. It should not be deleted, it is estimated that it is stealth. Lin Feng didn't ask any further questions and continued to be in a daze. Unconsciously, more than half an hour passed, he opened an urban life novel and read it, and at the same time thought of the beautiful Baiman beside Hey Rose. I hope Black Rose will not repair Baiman. Lin Feng and Baiman have been alone few times before, but they have a very special experience between them, so Baiman has become a very special friend of Lin Feng. Baiman's path is different from his, but Lin Feng hopes that Baiman will be smooth sailing and that nothing major will happen until decades later. Lin Feng also hopes that when Hey Rose falls, Baiman will not be affected too much. Morning. The sky was overcast and it could rain at any time. Dinan went to the store in the morning. Even if there were few customers during the summer vacation, she would stick to it, proving that the small store was still open. It was almost 10 o'clock when Lin Feng got up, and it was 10:30. Lin Feng was browsing the news when Wen Qing, the editor-in-chief of Beauty, called him because he was sick. Lin Feng picked it up and said with a smile, "Wen Qing, what are you doing? You miss me." Ai Wen angrily said, "You bastard, did you talk to the editor like this? What do you mean by missing you? You are not my man, what do I miss you? I ask you, how has your book been in the past few days? The update is so unstable, are you thinking about opening a new book? I remind you, it is best not to finish it so quickly, as you have said before, you can write more than 6 million words." Lin Feng said, "I've done some personal affairs in the past few days, so the update is not very stable, but in general, the volume is still acceptable, and it will be stabilized soon, and I will definitely write this book to 6 million words or more." Ai Wen smiled and said, "I am relieved to hear you say that. You have to code carefully, and be careful I repair you." It was about books, but it was a bit ambiguous. What Lin Feng was sure about was that there was no one else around when Ai Wen called him. Maybe Ai Wen was squatting on the toilet to call him. Ai Wen really squatted on the toilet and called Lin Feng. She didn't need to squat on the toilet for so long, but in order to continue talking with Lin Feng, she squatted for a while. Up to now, Lin Feng is not only an author in Ai Wen's group, but has become a friend in Ai Wen's life. The novel that Lin Feng is updating is indeed very good. He has achieved good results so far. It will get better and better, so Ai Wen is very worried that there will be problems with Lin Feng's book. After Ai Wen talked to Lin Feng, she felt relieved and in a better mood. She planned to meet Lin Feng for coffee when she had time. Afternoon. When Lin Feng was lying on the bed, his cell phone rang. He was very depressed when he saw that the call was Black Rose, but he could only pick it up. "Have you made an appointment with Xiong Jing?" "Yes, tonight at 10 o'clock, I will bet at my disco, the bet is 2 million, and then Xiong Jing will bring a beauty expert from Dongying, who is said to be a master of karate. If you beat this woman, I will give you 500,000 yuan," Black Rose said. "I will come, but I also have to tell you that I am not invincible, and I may not be able to win." Another extreme karate master? Lin Feng had fought against extreme karate masters before, and he won, but that didn't mean he could defeat all extreme karate masters. "What do you mean, kid? You must win," Black Rose said. "It doesn't make any sense for you to speak to me in this tone of command. Since I'm not invincible, I may lose. If you think it's not safe for me to fight, you can find someone else," Lin Fengzin said. "If you never contact me again, then I'm so happy." "You are irritating," Black Rose said tenderly. "You are the heroine of the underground world, how dare I be angry with you? If you are really angry, you deserve it." Lin Feng found that Black Rose had learned to act like a spoiled child to him. Black Rose was ruthless, but she was also a beautiful and hot woman, so the feeling that Black Rose brought to Lin Feng was not all nightmares. "Okay, I won't argue with you, remember to come over at night, I hope you can arrive an hour earlier," Black Rose said. Lin Feng didn't continue to say anything, hung up the phone and threw the phone aside, scolding in his heart, Although 500,000 is a lot, according to Lin Feng's current manuscript fee, it is equivalent to 5 million words of income. According to more than 10,000 words a day, it takes more than a year to code words to earn, but Lin Feng still doesn't want to making money in this way, so he is not very excited, but he just wants to get through this level quickly, and then he can go home, and then he needs to go to Taiyuan City, Jin Province. There are many things waiting for him. I'm afraid there won't be much time to code at night. Lin Feng plans to code more this afternoon, lest the beauty editor-in-chief will say that his update is unstable. He has no manuscripts at all now, otherwise he would not be so passive. He plans to make a week of manuscripts in the next period of time. Even after returning home, he will have enough time to code words, and his parents will never disturb him. To his coding career. At the same time, Lin Feng also thought of the school beauties in junior high school, the crazy Queen Xiaoqian. I don't know what happened to her. I will definitely see Wang Xiaoqian when I go home, and I will know at that time. Lin Feng started to code, he was more inspired, and his hand speed was very fast. By the time of dinner, he had already typed 12,000 words, divided into 4 chapters and updated them at one time. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 389. Ai Wen, the beauty editor-in-chief, has been following Lin Feng's update, and there are no new chapters until the evening. Ai Wen is very worried that Lin Feng will break the update today. Seeing the 4 3,000-word chapters updated by Lin Feng at one time, Ai Wen's mouth is exposed. With a sweet smile, he picked up his bag and left the company. Lin Feng turned off the computer, walked out of the master bedroom, and was walking on the road. What he thought was, when would he spend the remaining 1 million yuan to make up for the furniture and electrical appliances in the mansion, which is also a matter of his mind, so as not to have a big leaf the lady will have an opinion on him. It is estimated that after returning from home, Lin Feng sighed and walked into a restaurant he frequented. After eating rice and cooking, he brought a copy to Dainan. Seeing that Dainan's face was a little bad, Lin Feng knew that the turnover of the store was very bleak again today. He smiled and said, "Don't worry about it, what else do you want during the summer vacation? It's not even 200 until now. I found that this small shop despised me. Your imagination is too rich, this small shop is so good. When did you despise you? Do you remember how excited you were when the turnover exceeded 2,000?" Lin Feng said. Dainan smiled, her smile was very bright. Lin Feng thought of the sunshine and the blooming flowers. In his eyes, Dainan was always so fascinated. Dainan hopes that this summer vacation will pass quickly, and when Beijing Normal University starts school, the business of the store will improve. Even if it can't create a huge miracle, at least it can make more money. Dainan has no other job. Her current source of income is this small shop. She hopes that one day she can become a rich woman, at least tens of millions of wealth, with a house and a car. When she wants to spend at the time, he had a lot of money in his hand. Her past was very bleak, and things that ordinary people thought impossible happened to her, and her biological parents were so indifferent to her. She hopes that her future life will be full of light. Maybe the light can't obliterate the gloom of the past, but at least it can make her live comfortably. She is a person, and since she is alive, she wants to live a better life. Lin Feng said, "Black Rose has contacted me, and I will fight at 10 o'clock tonight." Dainan said, "I'll go too." Lin Feng said, "Don't go, I'm afraid you will be in danger." "I'll go there alone, which is more worry-free." Dainan said, "But I'm afraid that you are in danger. I really want to see you defeat your opponent with my own eyes." Lin Feng said, "Take a step back and say, even if I am in danger, how can you help me if you go there? You are not good at Kung Fu, you can just wait for me to come back." Don't let me worry. Dinan's eyes were wet, and the moment he nodded and said yes, tears also flowed. Sometimes I feel useless, and when you need help, I'm always powerless. Don't think so. Lin Feng was very moved and said in his heart, if you were my girlfriend, how happy would I be? In fact, Dinan is his beauty. He was already very happy. Thinking of this, Lin Feng found that his life was full of sunshine. The sunshine not only shone on the dignitaries, but also on him. He was also the son of the earth. Lin Feng said, Dottie, my mother. Dinan said, are you crazy? Lin Feng said, I'm not crazy, the earth is really my mother. Dinan laughed, and suddenly felt that the earth was not only Lin Feng's mother, but also her mother, and she quickly felt it again. I don't have a mother, because her mother doesn't want her anymore. Lin Feng's cell phone rang, and seeing that it was Ye's call, he picked it up. He smiled and said, Leaf, what are you doing? Yezi, I said, I'm thinking, when will you spend the remaining 1 million yuan? If you don't hurry, I will burn down your mansion. Lin Feng smiled and said, you can't burn down my mansion, I let you burn it before I live, I'm so sad. I'll go home in 2 days, and when I get back from home, I'll spend the more than 1 million. Yezi, I said, don't play with me, or I will ask you to return the 10 million you owe me within a month. I don't want you to give me a house. I will embarrass you to death. Lin Feng said, I promise to spend more than 1 million in 2 months, and it will be used on the furniture and appliances of the luxury house. Yezi, I said, okay. Lin Feng rolled his eyes a little helplessly. Dinan sighed lightly, I don't know what kind of feelings this young lady has towards you, I'm getting more and more confused. Lin Feng said, actually, sometimes, I don't understand. Dinan felt that Lin Feng should let Yezi know that he was going to fight for He Rose tonight. Maybe Ye would be very temperamental, and then he would ask He Rose for the theory. If He Rose cared about Ye's power, he would not have the courage to entangle Lin Feng in the future. Lin Feng felt that there was no need for this, because Black Rose had made it clear to him before, and let Lin Feng know that Black Rose was not afraid of leaves, and when it came to key issues, it was estimated that it would not give Ye any face. If Ye lost face in front of Black Rose, it is very likely that he would get into trouble with Black Rose, which would make things more complicated. Lin Feng still intends to make a breakthrough by himself first. If he really can't make it, Lin Feng even hopes that the police will quickly arrest He Rose, so that he will be relieved. At 9 o'clock in the evening, Lin Feng arrived outside the Menfei Yang disco. He thought that Black Rose would come out to greet him accompanied by several bodyguards. He used the battle to express a kind of enthusiasm that might not exist, but Black Rose did not appear, so he came out and waited. His only one is Baiman. White shirt, white pants, and white sneakers, Baiman is like a white snowflake, but this snowflake is full of heat. Lin Feng smiled, and so did Baiman. Lin Feng smiled helplessly, while Baiman smiled bitterly. Lin Feng said, after you came back from me, did Black Rose take care of you? Baiman said, she should know that I have looked for you, but she didn't deal with me, and she didn't mention it. Lin Feng said, if you can leave her, try to leave her as much as possible. If there is a way, you should go abroad. I don't believe that if you go abroad, Black Rose can't help you. Baiman said, if I really want to go, I have already gone to a place where she can't help me. The reason why I haven't left is because I don't want to go. You and I have different paths and different past experiences. I have some thoughts. You won't understand. Maybe. What else can Lin Feng say? He found out again that Baiman was really a woman with a good idea. This is outside the door of Menfei Yang disco. The topic that Lin Feng and Baiman talked about just now is already very dangerous. Lin Feng is unlikely to hug Baiman and kiss him here. He and Baiman walked in together. Lin Feng said, What is Black Rose doing? Bai Man said, since you are at the Menfei Yang disco, why don't you call her sister He? She is playing chess with Xiangjing. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. If Sister He hadn't asked me to come an hour earlier, I wouldn't have come so early, but Xiangjing's donging goods, he came earlier than me. Bai Man said, actually, Xiangjing likes to see Sister He very much, because he has some kind of magical fantasy about Sister He in his heart. Lin Feng said, it's better to say it's a wet fantasy. Baiman smiled relievedly, and didn't say anything. Lin Feng didn't ask Baiman what the beauty expert brought by Xiangjing was like, because he could see it soon. Luxurious room. Lin Feng saw the Black Rose, Xiangjing, and at the same time the beauty expert brought by Xiangjing. This woman is very beautiful, with a delicate face, full breasts, and long legs. She can't find Feng Chen on her body. The breadth of her, so Lin Feng felt that this woman had not fallen to the point where people stuttered. After the introduction of Black Rose, Lin Feng knew that this beautiful master from Dongying was called Yosuji. Yosuji treated Lin Feng very coldly, nodded slightly to him, and Lin Feng just nodded to Yosuji. The moment he saw Lin Feng, Xiangjing's face darkened. In the past, it was Lin Feng who represented Black Rose and he lost miserably. This time, it was Lin Feng. Xiangjing hoped that Yosuji could beat Lin Feng to a crippled state. Lin Feng also believed that Yosuji would not show mercy to him, because Yosuji had no need to show mercy to him. If Yosuji's strength was very strong, then he might be very sad. But Lin Feng is even more convinced that his dragon snake legs can create miracles at a critical moment, allowing this beautiful and hot Dongying woman to experience his power. He Rose's hand was placed on Lin Feng's shoulder, bringing a scented softness to Lin Feng. She smiled and said, if you win, Yosuji's body is yours too. Is there such an agreement? Lin Feng frowned, then it depends on whether I am interested in her body, and also on my mood. Lin Feng has been very low-key since he walked into this room. He suddenly became arrogant just now, which made Xiangjing and Yosuji a little uncomfortable. Lin Feng didn't take a look at Yosuji and walked out. Has not yet started when he arrived, he could walk around a bit, he didn't want to stay in the room and watch the faces of He Rose and Yui. He Rose and Xiangjing continued to play chess. Bai Man originally wanted to go out to find Lin Feng, but He Rose asked her to stay by his side. Bai Man could only sit beside He Rose. Yosuji walked out, and Yui seemed to have no problem with Yosuji walking out of the room at this time. There are already more than 20 people on the dance floor of Menfei Yang disco dancing along with the dynamic ditty. There is no lead dancer on the high stage. After more than an hour, the lead dancer will appear. Now there are 6 lead dancers in Menfei Yang disco, all of them have devil-like figures and superb dance skills. Pole dance, chair dance, and various dances can be played very skillfully and can mobilize the atmosphere very well. But Black Rose still thinks that none of them can compare with Dainan, the dancing elf. Although Dainan has been away from Menfei Yang disco for a long time, many regular customers will ask about Dainan, that charming and hot where is the dancing elf who always dances like crazy. Black Rose's answer every time is, resign and quit. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 390. Lin Feng sat on the seat next to the large bar, ordered a cocktail and drank it. He found Yosuji walking in his direction, thinking, you Eastern Yang woman, did what I said in that luxurious room irritate you? Yosuji is approaching Lin Feng, her steps are not very fast but very hot, her eyes are a little blurred. Lin Feng has been squinting at Yosuji. When Yosuji sat beside him, his eyes widened, and the corners of his mouth showed a faint smile. Lin Feng Jun, can you buy me a glass of wine? Yosuji's voice was very sweet, a bit like a schoolgirl, but Yosuji was a woman who had nothing to do with schoolgirls. If you remove that monarch and repeat what you just said, maybe I'll consider inviting you for a drink, Lin Feng said. Yosuji's face was a little red, and after a while, he said, Lin Feng, can you buy me a glass of wine? Can. Lin Feng also ordered a cocktail for Yosuji. This woman is very beautiful and hot. This woman is his opponent, but he doesn't mind inviting this woman for a drink. The bartender may have been stimulated by Yosuji's beauty, and he was even more slippery after playing with a few wine bottles. Soon a strong bald man came over and told the girl at the bar that the two people's consumption was free. Within a few minutes, Lin Feng and Yosuji were both drinking and silent. Yosuji spoke first, your kung fu is very high. Actually, it's normal. How many people can you beat alone? Yosuji asked. It depends on the level of the opponent. If it is someone with higher kung fu than me, I can't beat it alone. I'm talking about ordinary people. Yosuji was a little angry. If I were playing kindergarten children, I could beat hundreds of them, but I am a person who respects the elderly and loves the young, so I still can't beat them. You are a bit of a jerk. I don't have any friendship with you. Even if I wait until 10 o'clock, it's just a fight. It's not a friendship, you have no right to lose your temper with me. Lin Fengzin said, I suddenly want to play with you. If I beat you, I won't hurt you. If you hurt me, you can only blame Xiangjing. Can't blame me. Arrive at 10. Two hot leading dancers have already stepped on the high stage, low-cut shirts and shorts and stockings, and the two of them have already danced. Dozens of people danced wildly, twisting their waists, shaking their heads, and shaking their butts. Some people are holding wine bottles in their hands, some people are ready to eat tofu at any time, and some people are looking at the lead dancer with greedy eyes, their minds are full of wet fantasies. But Lin Feng and Yosuji were no longer sitting at the bar and drinking cocktails. At this moment, they were facing each other, ready to make moves at any time. The spectators next to him included He Rose, Baiman, Bing Chen, Sirius, Xiangjing, and two Dongying followers. If Black Rose wants to liven up the scene, she was even able to call hundreds of people to watch the battle. The reason why she didn't call so many people over was probably because she didn't want too many people to see it. Yosuji was quick and direct, and it was a flying kick against Lin Feng's chest. If Lin Feng wanted to hug Yosuji's leg at this moment, I'm afraid he would be very sad, because Yosuji had already thought about the next move. The moment Lin Feng dodged, Yosuji came over. A violent punch slammed into Lin Feng's face. Lin Feng pushed her arm away, and Yosuji slammed a few more punches, targeting Lin Feng's face and chest. Yosuji is really a master, and her shot speed is very fast. In the confrontation just now, Lin Feng only resolved Yosuji's moves. Did not find a suitable offensive opportunity. Yosuji originally thought that the attack just now could make Lin Feng lose. If Lin Feng could bleed, she would be very excited, and she would be able to explode with even greater energy. Unfortunately, her fierce attack just now did not bring much impact to Lin Feng. Yosuji already had a very clear concept in his heart that Lin Feng was a top expert. Yosuji had no intention of taking the initiative to attack. Her mouth showed a contemptuous chuckle, trying to provoke Lin Feng. If Lin Feng made a move, she might find a chance to defeat him. Lin Fengzin said, chuckle your sister, if you beat you, take off your panties, you, a Eastern woman, makes me very impulsive. Lin Feng really leaned over. It seemed very relaxed, but in fact he was very cautious. After sweeping his legs in a row, Lin Feng's speed and strength almost made Yosuji confused. Yosuji couldn't help but exclaimed in his heart, how can this kid Lin Feng's leg skills be so strong? She has met many masters who are used to attacking with her legs before, so she can immediately determine that Lin Feng's leg skills are very top. Hearing a bang, Lin Feng's fist landed on Yosuji's stomach. Yosuji screamed and flew out and fell to the feet of Xiong Jing. Yosuji had been dealing with Lin Feng's legs just now, because his leg skills were not trivial, but Yosuji let Lin Feng's fists fly out. Xiong Jing's face became even more gloomy. If he didn't want Yosuji to stand up and continue to fight Lin Feng, I'm afraid he would kick Yosuji. Yosuji stood up while gasping, and slowly leaned towards Lin Feng. Her eyes were sharp, and she was very angry. Lin Feng knew that Yosuji's combat effectiveness had been weakened by the punch just now. He was very aware of the weight of the punch just now. I am afraid that a dark green had appeared on Yosuji's stomach, and his internal organs were tumbling. Yosuji leaned over, raised his right leg and kicked it towards Lin Feng. In an instant, it was 3 legs, and Lin Feng avoided it. The moment Yosuji turned sideways, he kicked over with a few legs. A very unique aroma diffused. Spicy legs, spicy legs. If it hadn't been for Lin Feng's belly punch just now, Yosuji's leg skills would have been more sturdy at this time. Maybe Lin Feng would have been injured and bleed in the continuous attack of Yosuji's slender legs, but now he can deal with it a lot easier. The more than 20 legs that Yosuji kicked out were all resolved by Lin Feng in the dodge block. Yosuji's physical strength was further depleted. She was very confident. Facing the relaxed and unrestrained Lin Feng, she already had no confidence. The defeat was certain, and it depended on the extent of the defeat. Seeing that Yosuji was about to kick out his legs again, Lin Feng kicked his right leg out first, hitting Yosuji's waist. Oh ah! Yosuji cried out in pain, leaned down, fell to the ground and groaned in pain. Xiong Jing stood up instantly, his eyes were as big as copper bells. What happened? Yosuji is down. Is Yosuji still able to stand up? If Yosuji loses like this, he will lose to Black Rose again this time. 2 million was a lot of money for him, but it wasn't enough to make him grit his teeth. The key issue is face. Xiong Jing didn't want to lose face in front of the beautiful and hot Black Rose at all, but this time he was afraid that he would lose face again. Xiong Jing roared in Dongying dialect, Yosuji, stand up, you are an excellent warrior of Dongying, you must stand up. Yosuji's breathing was very strong. He tried 3 times in a row but failed to stand up. Lin Feng smiled coldly and stepped aside. Black Rose laughed and said, Xiong Jing. I'm so sorry, I won you again. Xiong Jing was very annoyed, stared at He Rose's face unwillingly, and said angrily, don't be complacent, one day, I will win you once. Black Rose said, Yosuji, who represented you this time, is strong enough, but unfortunately, she is still not Lin Feng's opponent. I hope the master you find next time will be stronger. You wait. Xiong Jing left very lonely, leaving behind 2 million, and the injured Yosuji also stayed, because her body made Xiong Jing lose. On this night, the winner, Lin Feng, can play with her to the fullest. In front of Baiman, Bing Chen, and Sirius, He Rose kissed Lin Feng's face and said with a smile, you are awesome. It's all for you to force it out. Then won't I force you more forcefully in the future? Black Rose's tone was very provocative. You'd better not go too far, you should understand the truth of the opposite, Lin Feng said. Are you interested in Yosuji? Have. Lin Feng's answer was neat and tidy, but Yosuji felt a dizziness. Losing face to Lin Feng was already very shameful, if he let him give it again. Even more embarrassing. Lin Feng, my good friend, the great winner, you can leave with 500,000 yuan and Yosuji, or you can enjoy Yosuji's body to the fullest in the luxurious room of Mengfi Yang Disco, and leave until dawn. Maybe I'm a great victor. But I'm not your best friend. You better not take me as a friend, of course, and don't take me as an enemy. You treat me as a stranger. I plan to take 100,000 and Yosuji left, Lin Feng said. Black Rose's face was a little ugly, maybe because Lin Feng just won a game for her, she didn't get angry right away. Carrying a black suitcase, Lin Feng walked out of the Menfei Yang disco with Yosuji. With the $500,000, even if he bought the furniture and electrical appliances for the remaining 1 million in his card, there were still hundreds of thousands. A little relieved but also a little dazed. He was relieved because he still had some money in his hand, and at a loss because he didn't know when the Black Rose would be entangled, or what would happen in the days to come. Lin Feng can be said to be able to think of Beijing Normal University's top school beauty, Zhu, anytime, anywhere. At this time, he had just punched, and there was a beautiful and hot Dongying woman standing beside him, but he still thought of the beautiful Zhu. It's so late, the beauty Zhu, who is far away in Qiaoshan town, Shu province, may have fallen asleep. Maybe she is still reading a book, or sitting in an open place to watch the stars in the sky. If there are clouds in the sky, what she sees is not the same. The stars were dazed. Yosuji said, Lin Feng, you are a little sad. If you think that you are sorry for me, then don't go to me. I plan to run away immediately. Lin Feng said, your Chinese language is very good. I guess you have been to Huaxia before, and you have lived there for a while, but what I want to tell you is that I didn't feel sorry for you because I didn't feel it, and I really want to do it. You mentioned running away just now. That's right, you should run away, otherwise the pervert Xiangjing will torture you severely because you made him lose face. You don't have a car. No, Lin Feng said. A tough person like you should have multiple cars, why don't you have one? No is no. Lin Fengzin said that people who are not necessarily strong will have a car, and people who may not have a car are very strong. I'm a little annoyed that you, a Dongying woman, say one sentence after another. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 391. Lin Feng and Yosuji sat in the back row of the taxi, and put a black suitcase of 500,000 yuan next to Lin Feng. At this time, his expression was a little cold. Yosuji leaned against him, his brows wrinkled, and he didn't say anything. Maybe Yosuji wanted to get used to his body in advance through this simple contact method, and he wouldn't feel special when he warmed up on the soft big bed. Strangeness. Yosuji's extreme katana kung fu is fierce, but her body is very soft and has a slightly elegant fragrance, even the breath that Yosuji exhales is fragrant. Lin Feng didn't know whether Yosuji was black fungus or not. He would only know if he saw it. It was not suitable for him to check Yosuji's body in a taxi. Lin Feng didn't hug Yosuji's body until he got out of the car, which made Yosuji feel a sense of failure. He said in his heart, you are good enough, if you have the ability, don't hug me when you do that, the two of us will do it well. Now, drifting, bumping, drifting, bumping again, when the thrill hits, we have been drifting for many years. From Yosuji's point of view, this community is a bit run down, and it doesn't match Lin Feng's identity. In fact, she doesn't know what Lin Feng's background is, but she knows that Lin Feng's kung fu is very high, and his leg skills and boxing skills are very good, even higher than her. Yosuji said, the environment of this community does not match your identity. There are many luxury houses in Beijing. Most people with money and status live in luxury houses or villas. You should live in luxury houses. Lin Feng didn't tell Yosuji that he already owned a mansion. Although he bought it with borrowed money, the mansion was in his hands after all. He shook for a moment, then said nothing. Walking into the labyrinth-like rental house, Yosuji was even more stunned. He thought that there would be an inconspicuous house of dozens of square meters in this dilapidated community. Lin Feng. Could it be that you are a poor man with no background, just because your kung fu is very good, so the Black Rose is looking for you to fight, but now you have 500,000 in your hand, how can you be poor? Yosuji was obviously a very curious person, but she really couldn't understand what was going on with Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at the partition door of Kaidanan. Knowing that she had returned, Dinan's door opened at the moment Lin Feng looked away, and Dinan in casual clothes appeared in front of Lin Feng. To Dinan's surprise, Lin Feng brought a beautiful and hot woman back to see her temperament. This woman is a bit like a schoolgirl. Dinan wondered, finished. Lin Feng said, after the fight, I won. My opponent is her name is Yosuji, and she lost to me. Yosuji. Dinan understood that the woman beside Lin Feng who looked like a student girl was his opponent tonight. She didn't see it as a Dongying woman just now, but now she already knew. This woman is from Dongying. When they arrived at Lin Feng's master bedroom together, Dinan wondered, why did you bring her back? I won. Not only did I get 500,000 yuan, but I could also sleep with her. In fact, I could sleep with her or not. I didn't really want to sleep with her at first, but now I really want to. Lin Feng seemed to be talking about tongue twisters. Dinan's eyes became more and more ambiguous. Putting her mouth to Lin Feng's ear, she whispered, you'd better observe carefully before you get on her. If you don't get sick, maybe she has taken that kind of film before. Lin Feng smiled and nodded, but he believed that even if Yosuji was not a first daughter, he had never made that kind of film before. It is inevitable that women who make such films in Dongying have high skills in bed, but they generally do not know how to do karate. Dinan walked out, leaving Lin Feng and Yosuji in the room. He could immediately strip off Yosuji's clothes and pull off her to get excited, but he wasn't in a hurry. Anyway, one night was enough for him to work on Yosuji's body. Lin Feng turned on the computer, opened his book pages, and closed it after a few quick glances. He was satisfied with the increase in data and the response of readers. Standing beside Lin Feng, Yosuji asked suspiciously, what did you see just now? Lin Feng said, I won't tell you. Confidential. That's it? Lin Fengzin said that since Waxia owns online novels, Dongying also has online novels. I don't know Dongying's online novels, and you don't know Huaxia's online novels. If I talk to you about this, it will be playing the piano to the cow. Lin Feng said, there are chairs over there, you sit down, you have been standing by my side, which makes me very uncomfortable. It may be because Yosuji is an extremely karate master, and she stands as if she will attack the people around her at any time, so Lin Feng is naturally on guard, and the atmosphere is a bit tense. Maybe he and Yosuji will never see her again after turning the clouds and the rain this night. He is a guest of Yosuji, and Yosuji is a guest of him, but we have been warm together. Tall and straight. Years later, Lin Feng might think that he had with a Dongying woman named Yosuji many years ago. If he was impressed enough, he would be able to think of the warm scene at that time. Many years later, Yosuji may think that she had let a Chinese man her many years ago, and that man made her comfortable or hurt her. Lin Feng opened a small Dongying movie, and a picture of a Dongying man teasing a Dongying woman appeared on the computer screen. Lin Feng said, look, these are produced by your country. Yosuji said, you are too much. I have to spend the night with you as a last resort. You don't have to humiliate me like this. There are many women in Dongying making this kind of film, but I am a martial artist. I am not the kind of woman who makes this kind of film. Lin Feng saw tears in Yosuji's eyes. It seemed that his behavior hurt Yosuji's self-esteem. He smiled relievedly, closed Dongying Xiaobian, and then turned off the computer. When Lin Feng was about to take off Yosuji's clothes, Yosuji said, I want to take a shower. I sweated during the fight just now. Lin Feng said, I seem to be sweating too, why don't we take a bath together? Yosuji thought for a moment and said, okay. Even if they don't take a bath together, Linfeng will see her whole body when she is on the bed, and even the wet place will be seen clearly. Taking a bath together can be regarded as a warm-up in advance. When they went to the bathroom together, Yosuji was also when Linfeng was undressing. The two of them started slowly. When Linfeng's upper body showed strong muscles, Yosuji hadn't taken off his clothes. Linfeng said, if you are embarrassed, you can take a bath with your clothes on. Yosuji said, I've never done such a ridiculous thing before, taking a bath with clothes on, how uncomfortable it would be, but I really don't want you to see my body. Yosuji went out of his way, and he could only blame the Yuji, but Yuji was someone she couldn't afford to offend. She didn't want to fight with Yuji. Even if Yuji didn't want to live, she still wanted to live. Yosuji finally took off the clothes on his upper body, and after taking off the chest photo, his full chest was exposed. Yosuji's chest is not as big as Dainan and Tianqingzhu, but her skin is as delicate as those two beauties. Her figure is well proportioned and exudes a beautiful luster. Linfeng kissed Yosuji's bili, and Yosuji's body shivered obviously, as if no man had ever done this to her before, but he kissed her bili. Linfeng said, you should take off your pants. Yosuji said, your pants haven't been taken off yet. Linfeng took off his trousers in an instant, and the part of the trousers was very straight, like a tent that had just been set up. Yosuji didn't move very fast, but she still took off her pants. Her slender legs were exposed in front of Linfeng, and the lines were beautiful. Overall, she has a great figure. If the fungus is not so black that it is outrageous, she is a superb woman. Linfeng said, you should take off your pants. Yosuji said, if you take it off, I will naturally take it off. At this time, what Linfeng thought was, when he took off his pants, would Yosuji suddenly attack his object, or whether there was a hidden weapon hidden in Yosuji's pants, and the hidden weapon was very close to her wet place, but the wetness that doesn't hurt her may hurt those who are so opposite to her. Linfeng stared at Yosuji's trousers for a moment and was sure that there was no hidden weapon hidden in Yosuji's trousers, and he would not be attacked. Linfeng took off his trousers, and his tallness was exposed in front of Yosuji. Yosuji sighed and covered her mouth with her hands, but she did not cover her eyes, but stared at Linfeng's thing, showing a look of panic. Linfeng said, you scared me. Yosuji sighed again, yes, I scared you, I will die of pain. Linfeng said, it's like you're a first-time daughter, it's like you've never done it before. Yosuji didn't say anything. She took off her and wanted to prove it to Linfeng, but Linfeng only saw the hot outline and couldn't tell whether Yosuji was her first daughter. Whoosh! Yosuji's right leg was pulled up high. Look, I'm really a first daughter. Linfeng just thought that Yosuji was going to kick him. He instinctively made a block action, but he didn't expect Yosuji to raise one leg independently of the other leg to let him check his body. Linfeng couldn't disappoint Yosuji. He provoked and checked, and found that Yosuji was not black fungus at all, and was very likely a first daughter. Linfeng felt a lot more at ease. She put water and took a bath with Yosuji. Linfeng continued to tease Yosuji's body. Yosuji, who was bathed in the water, was breathing a little too quickly, but she didn't bother to tease Linfeng's body very much. He looked up straight and sighed in his heart. Almost an hour later, Linfeng and Yosuji washed clean before returning to the master bedroom. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.